Hello and welcome everybody to the Dred Hour. I have finally decided to start a podcast, as many people do. I mean, this is one thing, and I'm going to beat this laptop here repeatedly because our setup is so shit. This is no Joe Rogan over here. But many people start podcasts, and in fact, some would say, well, I would argue that there's not enough podcasts out there. I think that in general, one thing that needs to be added to the podcast world is probably me talking about really stupid shit. And so I started a podcast, and, it is what it is. We're going to be getting into this is part of the attack plan here as YouTube grows. And thank you, YouTube viewers, by the way. This is where your advertising revenue has gone into purchasing Oculus Quest headsets and this mixer and all this shit. But every good podcast needs an intro, which requires capital, which requires money. And again, thank you very much. And so I have spent in the wake of an economic recession, and I want this to be clear, okay? I am proud to say I have spent over $500 on this intro alone. This intro blew my mind.
No, you didn't.
This intro blew my mind, and it's about to blow yours. You wish you were being blown. This will do the trick. I want you to pull this up right now because on Fiverr, I quote, $500 on this intro, and I think this is going to be the intro for everything. And by the way, this is more insane than anything I've ever seen. Play that.
All right. Brilliant.
I mean, the people at Fiverr really know how to make something good, right?
That was really somebody from Fiverr that gave you that? I could have done that.
Who the fuck? By the way,
You spent $500 for that?
yeah.
Brilliant.
Is that a problem?
No.
In the
That's
wake,
amazing.
with hundreds of thousands of people struggling in this country and in fact worldwide, with Sri Lanka that just collapsed, is that a problem that I just spent $500 on that intro?
No, I think what you've taught me is that I need to start selling my services on Fiverr.
You wouldn't make a cent. So this podcast has a couple of goals. And by the way, thank you very much for watching. This is going on the main channel, at least in the beginning. I'm going to have a separate channel. So if you want to subscribe to that, please check the description. You'll be able to find this podcast on any platform, Spotify, iTunes, any of that. And as mentioned, I'm fulfilling a gap here in most podcasts. Most podcasts, particularly in the area that I know of, and this is interesting. As of starting this podcast, I think we are the biggest podcast within 5 miles. I'm very excited to say that. There's a lot of hope in the podcast sphere now that we're involved. And if we can branch out of that, that would be great. Because there's a lot of podcasts in the valley. We live in Utah, right? Just we live in Utah. And there's a lot of mommy bloggers. There's a lot of killers here. And we need to kind of balance it out. And that's kind of what we're going for here. We're going for a jokey, goofy, stupid. We're not being serious. No more podcasts about fucking, why Thor 4 wasn't the most amazing thing that ever fucking existed. I'm sick of it. There's a ton of geek podcasts, and maybe I'm talking shit about people that I know who probably have podcasts like this, because everybody has a fucking geek podcast.
Is that not why we're here? Should I leave now?
I'm here to talk about Star. Oh, this is a good point. So, welcome, Adam.
Hello.
My producer for the show. What in God's green earth qualifies you to be a producer?
Well, I got the mixer.
First of all, you've already fucked up. Lean into your mic. You've already done a big oopsie.
I got the mixer in front of me.
You're already walking a fine line. This is going to end, by the way, like 5 episodes in. I'm going to be grabbing, I don't even know. I mean, you know,
we'll be fighting over the laptop.
Whatever gun will blow your head clear off. I mean, like, that's what's going to happen within 5 episodes already. But yeah, I've asked him to sit in and pull shit up, as most people do. And here's the thing. So to actually get into the podcast, because you're probably like, what in the fuck is going on right now? I want to bring up 2 things. This has to be done delicately, because we don't want to get in trouble on the first episode, right? Like, this is important. And we will talk about geeky things, and we will talk about VR, maybe, and we'll talk about, you know, I don't know why, you know, 9/11 was real, and I do think it is. But maybe. But I do. That's a joke, okay? This is a joke. But I will say this. I want to start the podcast. I want to show you guys a couple of things. The first thing that I need to say is I want to start the podcast off on the bad note, okay? Because we have stories that are very absurd and need to be shown to you because you are being led to the darkness. I'm going to steer your attention to the right places, okay? A lot of you spend a lot of time jerking off to hentai. Many of you like tentacle porn. Some of you like, well, and this is the other thing. There's a lot of podcasts out there right now. We've discussed this, like, you know, serial killers. They want you to break down an hour-long episode about how Thomas failed 6th grade and grew up to shove garden hoses inside of everyone in the neighborhood's face, like just like stringing them up, like real terror, right? Like just awful shit. People love that in the podcast sphere. I want to start off on the bad note and then end it on a good note because I want you to walk away from the podcast with a little pep in your step. You know what I mean? So I have an article here. If you can go to the podcast doc and pull up that first article here and make sure you pause before we start so I can preface this because we're going to start with the bad news and then we're going to go to the good news. Okay? God almighty damn. This is going to be real rough for a little while.
It's rough.
We're going to figure it out.
All right. So we're here.
One thing that needs to be said is that, as I mentioned, we do live in Utah, and unfortunately, there is some very bad news, and a lot of you people will relate to this because, believe it or not, it's coming for you shortly. We're going to be sort of we're the sloppy seconds of this nightmare that is slowly but surely walking its way in, flopping its way in like the Walking Dead into this awful state. It makes perfect sense why it's moving to where we live, but I need you guys to take a look. Like, this is going to blow your minds. Play this and steel yourself.
Then, of course, there's By the Bucket. As we rolled into town, I was obsessed. What do you mean, spaghetti to go? What do you mean, by the bucket? And being the investigative reporter I am, I had to find out. 1.5 pounds of pasta for under $20.
Okay, pause that. Okay, so this woman, by the way, for some reason, this is in Arizona. I have no idea why it looks like fucking Narnia in the background. This woman...
That's not Arizona. Are you sure that's Arizona?
This restaurant starts in Arizona, and this was a piece done by Jamie's Local Love, who, by the way, this woman went to 4 years, and God bless her. I'm sure she's a very nice lady, right? A lot of the nicest people you know will suffocate you with a pillowcase, though, if you're not careful. And in this case, it's going to be a lot worse, and we'll get to that in a moment. But she's in fucking Narnia, shoveling a bucket of spaghetti into her mouth. And this is what you go to journalism school for.
Why is she not in the restaurant? Why is she outside?
We'll get to that. This is just the precursor. This is before the asteroid hits the planet. This is the scariest thing. Like I said, we have to start with the bad news. So I skip ahead maybe like 1 minute 40, because basically what happens is she begins speaking with the guy who invented this fucking atrocity. And they're moving a restaurant of spaghetti by the bucket to Utah shortly. And we're all going to have to try it on the show to see how quickly we have a heart attack on air. And try right there. Let's start from there.
Hot spaghetti to go. That's what you do in 2 minutes.
That's right. So basically what we do is we toast our garlic bread. I make the garlic spread every morning out of 2 pounds of butter, garlic, and olive oil. It goes into our toaster oven. And basically as long as it takes to toast the bread, we'll have the bucket ready spaghetti to go. So
good.
Hot spaghetti
so it doesn't take long at all to make what you're serving.
Down here. What I do is I cook the spaghetti every morning until al dente, and then I shock
Pause
it.
out.
So
You hear what he just said?
He cooks the spaghetti every morning.
2.
Al dente.
What the fuck? It's al dente.
Al dente.
That's some real trashy shit. That's real Arizona garbage right there. And by the way, God bless the man. I have nothing against any of these people. I have a problem with them colonizing the northern part of my state with this shit. And it gets a lot worse. Keep it going.
It doesn't cook anymore. I compartmentalize it into these 1.5 pound containers. I just pour this hot water in this basket for about 30 seconds, or less than 30 seconds, so it doesn't cook anymore.
And then you came up with the hot spaghetti to go. Why?
I'm a single dad, and I was making spaghetti for my son, and I realized we always had lots of spaghetti left over. And I realized one day I said jokingly, boy, if we could sell our leftover spaghetti, we could make buckets of money. I'm a marketing guy, and that's where it all started. I put it out on Facebook, and I got a real good response.
Yeah.
Well, I always say I'm a sucker for good marketing. So that's
your whole
exactly what
Facebook
happened.
feed
The
is
marketing
QAnon
guy got
people.
the sucker right here.
That's right.
And there I was with my bucket of spaghetti.
Okay.
Sam, we gotta bring you in
hear
here
her?
because you're
Yeah,
the
that's right.
inspiration.
My God, this woman, by the way, is yak. You know, like when you watch a porn and someone's like, she's sitting there like, that bucket, give me that fucking bucket spaghetti. I tell you right now, that bucket is so good. That bucket is so good. Give me the bucket. I'm telling you right now, this woman has, I don't know like what she thought was going to happen coming out of college, because a lot of journalists think they're going to go on to do investigative journalism. They're going to end up in the Middle East. Maybe they'll get their head blown off. Maybe not. They kind of want that. Vice, they're thinking some kind of like meth epidemic. They're going to Fresno. Next thing you know, you're in Arizona during a blizzard talking with a fucking maniac about how al dente pasta should be flash boiled in a metal container and thrown into a bucket for $15. I'm telling you right now, this is coming for every state soon, very quickly. Keep playing this because I think I did watch part of this. It gets even worse.
That's my
Gorgeous, come around this
measly
way.
marketing company.
Come here.
Don't let the name fool you.
Oh my gosh. So Sam, what do you think about spaghetti? Do you eat a lot of spaghetti? Is this what's for dinner over at your house a lot?
Okay, yeah, well, I used to before we started this, because we don't really eat it anymore.
Well, now that
His
you
own
have the
son
restaurant,
says, "Fuck you, Dad." He's like, "We don't eat this shit anymore." Listen to this.
1.5 pounds of cooked spaghetti al dente, 24 ounces of my marinara sauce, which we make every day right here.
Props.
Oh my gosh, look
Oh,
at
it
that.
makes a big mess, but I'll take care of that.
Oh my God.
So then we have meatballs. They're 2 ounce. They're nice, big, meaty meatballs. They come out of Chicago, actually. If I had to make the meatballs, I would have quit several years ago.
Pause that.
So we got frozen meatballs.
Okay. I run a car dealership. If I had to sell cars, I would have quit the business a long time ago. he works for the military. If I had to actually sell missiles that blew up people in the Middle East, I would have quit my job a long time ago. This is like someone at Raytheon. He makes pasta. He works at a place called Spaghetti by the Bucket. Can't be bothered to make meatballs. By the way, meatballs, easiest thing you could ever fucking do. I fucked up meatballs once with you. I was very ashamed of myself. I almost hung myself in the fridge, which I don't even know how you do that, but I almost did. I made meatballs once and I kind of overdid it. I was trying to pan fry them. What I should have done is kind of like seared them and thrown them in the oven. Instead, I pan fried them the entire time. They turned into fucking sawdust. Bad. So, I mean, whatever. But meatballs, easy to do. You throw a fucking meatball into the oven for 20 minutes. You run a restaurant, for God's sakes. The motherfucker doesn't even doesn't even cook his own balls. Continue.
A couple years ago. So that's the bucket. And basically, then we'll just
that garlic bread's burned.
I've heard the garlic.
We're not
bread is
boiling that. I know it's going to be
don't throw that
piping hot,
in
but I'm going to need a taste of
In the
this.
meantime, the garlic breads come
the
out.
Bucket.
And I burn it to order.
It is delicious.
It is
looks
delicious.
Give me that bucket, Brett.
All right, pause
Wipe it
that
up,
again. Give me that fucking
Give me
bucket.
that bucket.
Fuck me with a bucket. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Look, so here's the thing. I mean, I don't know if we have to play much more of this. So, upon further investigation, and as I mentioned, you can see that right there, it's Payson, Arizona family in the bottom left quadrant. This is a company that's been doing very good, and it's moving into other states. Now, one thing you need to know about Arizona, I don't know if many of you have been to Arizona. Have you been to Arizona?
Like once or twice, I think.
Well, entering this restaurant, like there are for many restaurants, there are a couple of rules, right? Like every restaurant, like you all know of the restaurants where, hey, no shirt, no shoes, no service, right? Like, don't rob our employees at gunpoint. You probably will.
Don't smoke in the restaurant.
Don't smoke in the restaurant. You know, there are a couple of rules that you need to abide by when walking into the Spaghetti by the Bucket. You ready? Number 1, Donald Trump is still the president. Number 2, you can pay us in U.S. currency. Or you could pay us in used Gusher packets with a toothpick in it. We'll accept that. We'll accept at least 6 of those for a bucket. And number 3, you are welcome to get an abortion done here. Surprisingly, they're pro-life, which I didn't really expect for being in Arizona. They are accepting Roe v. Wade refugees. And this is just kind of par for the course for Arizona, by the way. Like, I've been through Arizona like a couple of times. I went through a cross country. I went through a cross country. Not really. It was like half the U.S. I don't even want to talk about. I went through Arizona in a white van once, and this is not a joke. It was my friend's white van. It's my friend Big Nate. You know him. You don't. That's fine. But we went through Arizona, and we went through all of it. It's an absolute. It should not exist. Like, I mean, Arizona is a nightmare. It's a wasteland, and many people who live in Arizona agree with me. And I know people from Arizona, and I know that you're thinking this too. There's like 2 good places in Arizona. One is Sedona. I actually really like Sedona. It's a beautiful place. The second is the now leaving Arizona sign at the border, right? Like, as soon as you're leaving, like, that's the next best part, because fucking, like, I mean, Lake Havasu is whatever. It's for like the bros. It's when you're a kid, you're fucking partying, you're taking vodka slaps off your bro, which I don't even know what that is actually, but like, I've heard it's nasty. People are eating each other in the street.
Is that a thing? I think we need
a vodka slap. I mean, you can look.
I think
Look
we
it
might
up.
need a video of that.
Yeah, look up vodka slaps. I've heard this is a thing. But anyways, I don't think it's gonna be on YouTube.
Where am I supposed to be looking?
Go to Google.
I want to see it done. I need to see it in action.
Well, maybe it's on like fucking what's it called? Like
okay.
World Star. Go to World Star. But Lake Havasu is what it is. Scottsdale is a fucking it's disgusting. And Sedona is the only great place in Arizona. The rest of the time you step out of any kind of shade in Arizona, and this is a fact. You step out of any shade in Arizona, any shop, and it's like someone threw your brain in like an egg cracked into a griddle. Like you just people are walking around like kind of like they're Egyptians, except for that would be like culturally appropriating. They're kind of just like off balance, like they feel the world spinning beneath them. And so you come up with restaurants that those people like. And a lot of the times what that ends up being is like $2 worth of carbohydrate pasta thrown into a bucket. And you slide it down the counter at and then they go run into the Lake Havasu and they drown and die. And this is kind of what Arizona is. And I like Arizona. Vodka slap. A game in which two individuals each take a shot of vodka but do not swallow. They alternate slapping each other in the face until one person, the loser, either spits out the vodka or swallows it. And then they have a nice example here, and you're involved in this scenario. John and Adam were playing vodka slap. John missed on the first swing and really just sort of punched Adam. But that made John laugh, and he spit out his vodka, thereby losing the vodka slap. Therefore, Adam, you know what happened next?
I won.
Adam pulls out an AR-15 and guns that John down. That's the next thing that happens.
It's just that Arizona heat, dude. It got to me. What can I say? Mm-hmm. I think we need a video, though.
Sure. It looks like the second one down. Or is that one?
I don't know. Something on Twitter.
No, that's not it. Get that off. That is old school. Go to the second one down.
All right. Here's a real vodka
Yes.
slap.
Here's a vodka. This is what people in Arizona are doing to come up with restaurant ideas.
I think the point is as light as you can by getting the vodka.
Yeah, let's go.
We got Chet and Brett over here.
Aren't they both supposed to do it? I don't think that.
Yo, you got pounded. Oh, shit.
Both of these gentlemen are dead now. Oh, good. James steps in. Let's see this one.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, he's gargling it.
Ooh.
What a disgust. Wow. I'm telling you. Are these people from Arizona?
They gotta be.
Do it.
Oh no. Okay. Pause this. I don't want women getting slapped on the first podcast. But that's appropriate. Like, I mean, she was, consenting, whatever. But the point is, Arizona is a really rough place to be. Like, have you been to the Grand Canyon or anything? Never?
I don't think so. No.
I like how this podcast is like, can you turn on the light? We're
We're
slowly
losing light.
We're slowly becoming demons. Like I said, we're figuring this out. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, now it looks like shit, but that's okay. My point is, now it looks awful. That's okay.
Right.
We're going to figure this out as we go forward.
Someday. We can do it earlier.
Point is, this restaurant came from Arizona. It completely makes sense. And now it's infecting everything like the coronavirus. It's coming to your state soon. And you're going to see people walking out with buckets. And by the way, it costs $15 for a bucket. Costs $15 for a bucket. You know how much pasta I can make with $15? I can make enough to... Yeah,
I can make more than a bucket.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah. I could...
Dude, I could make like 12 buckets probably.
When
Do
Joe...
you know how much just a raw box of spaghetti costs?
No, not much. Lean into your mic if you're going to speak. I'm going to whip your ass. This is how it's going to be for a while until... Adam's never been a broadcaster, and neither have I, by the way. But we're working on it. I'll tell you this. you're right, though. I know where you were going with that. And I'll tell you, when Joe Biden passes away and they have to fill his grave with dirt, you know how much for $15 worth of pasta, you could fill up the grave with pasta. The whole thing. Just, and then just, that's it. That's Joe Biden. Bye. Next. Next. But like I said, I want to sandwich this. And how long have we been going? Check the...
20 minutes, probably.
Nice.
Yeah, 26 minutes.
Nice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill a full hour. You know what would help is advertisements. That'll come soon, eventually. For now, it's just me yelling at nothing. So, I did want to say, and I don't know if we'll end it here, but I want to sandwich the bad news with some good news. Like I said, I don't want you guys walking away, you know, or more likely crawling away, or sitting at your chair at your job and kind of being bummed knowing that this maniac is moving spaghetti by the bucket into other states, just like the Contras moved cocaine in the 80s, okay? So, the good news is this next article, which we found. If you want to click that one and bring that article up.
Which one?
The second one. There you go. Okay, now go ahead and read this for the people because, by the way, like we need a good cherry on top here to make people feel like there's still some hope in this country because a lot of people are just not feeling that American spirit and the economy is kind of going downhill and people are having to, you know, dig in the garbages. You've seen this. You go outside and, you know, there's, you know, an elderly man, very nice, but now he can't afford his senior home and he's digging potato peels out of a dumpster because that's what you have to do in this country at 65 years of age because retirement means nothing and your 401k is bullshit. Go ahead.
All right. Subway worker allegedly killed over too much mayonnaise on customer's sandwich.
Okay.
That's just the most American thing I've ever read in my life.
I thought this was... Wait a second. Wait, keep going. Because I thought... I could have sworn... Okay, maybe there is a happy ending, though. Keep going. Keep going. Go up top. Go back up. Read the next part of this article.
Police say they have arrested a 36-year-old man in connection with the shooting.
Good. So there is a happy ending, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I got him. An Atlanta Subway employee was killed and another was injured when a customer opened fire because there was too much mayonnaise on his sandwich, according to the police and the owner of the store. On Sunday, just after 6:30 p.m., a Subway location on Northside Drive became the scene of a fatal shooting when a customer allegedly shot and killed a 26-year-old female worker over his dissatisfaction with the way his order was prepared.
Okay, well, this is not great. I thought this would be a happy article for the episode. Why in the hell did you choose this one?
I mean, it's just American. We're in America, right?
But this isn't a great American story. This is tragic. Adam is, by the way, what you need to know about him, he might be the darkest motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life. I give him one job. I say, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to check the recording every now and again throughout the episode, make sure we're still recording, which is my cue to like actually cue him up to make sure we're still recording in real time.
We're good.
But also to find stories that can be the shining light in the darkness. And this psychopath picked an article about someone my own age getting her nose blown through the back of her skull with a gun over mayonnaise. Is that what you want? Is that what you're trying to do to the people?
I just thought, especially in Utah, dude, mayonnaise. It's a good article for where we're at, I feel like. I feel like we could relate very well to this article.
I can. But what I will say is this is tragic. Like, obviously this is a bit, right? Like, this is a joke, right? This is horrible. This is not the good news. You see what I did there? You build up a premise and you tear it down, right? Like, this is fucking awful. Some douche brought a Magnum into a Subway and blew the head off of this woman. I don't know why I'm laughing. Like, this is just what you have to laugh. Like, it's so dark. I mean, this is what's happening in the like. People are like, minds have been completely shattered in this country. Like, so this woman makes him a Subway sandwich with too much mayonnaise, which I kind of, I can get behind. Like, I dislike, I've gotten a little bit more, I like mayonnaise now. I used to hate it. Maybe a couple years ago, I would have done the same thing. But mayonnaise, like too much mayonnaise, it's kind of a problem. Mayonnaise is something that should be dealt with lightly. You don't want too much mayonnaise on anything. It's the annoying person at the party. It's the guy with the guitar busking in the corner, making everyone listen to him while he shows you Stairway to Heaven or his own song for his own band, which is going nowhere quickly. Which I know several of these people, and not one of them particularly from years back. Remember, Mr.
Oh, I know.
We're going to be famous man, which I'm not going to be specific because this will get to him and he'll kill me. I'll end up with my brain splattered over a Subway by the end of the week. So people are, and what you don't know is, and I don't know if many of you have worked in fast food. Fast food really shows you, if you've been an employee in fast food, how sick and fucked up most people are in their day-to-day life. And this is true. People have absolutely nothing. Some people have nothing to live for except for to berate people about their order. They'll sit there and be, we were just at the gas station. And this isn't actually a flip on this. This is, a situation where it's a flip. But the cashier was telling us we're checking out, and he immediately starts talking about his kidney stones. He immediately starts, we're just like, hey, how you doing? He's like, oh, not good. Really not good. Yesterday, I felt a pain like I was dying. I was looking up at the sky, thinking a wrathful God was about to rip open my stomach. Turns out there was literally says a grain of rice long stone, but it looks like the mine in Halo 2 that comes out of the Covenant ship that Master Chief has to grab onto. It's like spiky, and the Master Chief is like riding it down, and it was like, it's in there. He's like, it's in me. He's like, it's in me. And we're just like, Jesus, man. And the funny thing is, I had been in there earlier today, and he had told me that, and then he said it again when we were both there. Like, most people, they have nothing. I'm just being honest. A lot of people don't have a lot of things going on at all, period. And so they'll shoot somebody over mayonnaise on a sandwich if that's what gets them, some kind of relief.
I mean, they got an article.
I don't know if they were even doing it for the article. I just think he was just... He's just there was so little going on. His children were, stealing his arthritis medicine and cowering in there and locking the room. And his wife is, I don't know, what is she? She's collecting fucking, I don't know, Tamagotchis or something. And he decided enough was enough. And he had the Glock. And he took it out on the Subway worker. Because this is what's happening. I mean, this is truly what's happening. And by the way, it's probably going to get worse. More things like this are going to happen. And you're already seeing it. I was toying around with the idea of having this is really dark, having a piece of paper, like a poster board in the background of this podcast as we go forward, where we tally mass shootings as the podcast goes forward. Because that would be, imagine a year from now when that thing is full and there's 3 of them. I mean, Jesus. I don't know what the point would be, and I don't think we're going to do this because I actually thought about it. I was like, that's weird. Why would we do that? But CNN would be like, wow, this podcast, look at this. We'd end up in the national media. Maybe we should. But this is truly fucked up, and Subway sucks. It's not good. You know, it's smelly. There's not enough workers there. They're underpaid. It's run by the mafia.
Wouldn't have happened at a Jimmy John's.
It would not have happened at a Jimmy John's because they know how to properly apply mayonnaise. They know how to properly apply mayonnaise at the Jimmy John's. They also know how to, you know, have their delivery drivers end up in DUI accidents constantly. I mean, that's the other thing that happens there, which I have no evidence of, and I'm just yelling about. Look up Jimmy John's DUI. Look it up. Because I believe there is articles about this, and if there isn't, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Would a DUI on my record... Click that one. Click the top one.
All right.
Indeed.com. What a great place. Would a DUI on my record make it so I can't become a delivery driver at Jimmy John's? Yes. Drivers need a somewhat clean driving record with less than 3 tickets in the last few years. Oh, okay. Interesting.
They could have a couple tickets and still be good.
How would they even have drivers at Jimmy John's if none of their employees had DUIs? Everyone that works at Jimmy John's has had a DUI. Watch is like my whole audience works at Jimmy John's.
I kind of want to see this Reddit thread.
All right, pull this one up, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Okay. Yeah, so this guy on Reddit he's a current Jimmy John's driver and needs some input. He's been working at Jimmy's for about 2 weeks right now and just recently discovered the subreddit. Number 1, he's been reading that a majority of drivers get compensated for... Okay, so this guy is just trying to figure out what it's like to be a Jimmy John's employee. Basically, what the response should be, and tell me if I'm wrong, the response should be for this guy who's going to become a Jimmy John's driver... I'm telling you right now.
Don't.
No, it's going to be join the military. Go to the first comment.
All right. Let's see that.
Being able to just stand around and watch TV is bullshit, and any halfway decent when you run an establishment, there's always side work to be done. Either way, you could probably make more money working at a different restaurant. Exactly. All right, get that off.
Wait.
I don't want to read the rest of these people.
But look at the.
Oh, the op. That's what I was thinking. I'll look into it.
Did you see his name though?
Jimmy John Slave.
What?
Yeah, we all better start praying for that guy.
I think he literally created an alt account.
Imagine being so fucked that you have to create an alt account asking about what it's like to be a Jimmy John's driver. Like, that's what's going to take you over the top. This is what I've been looking for. I've been looking at getting paid a terrible wage, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should call Jimmy John's and see if they pay a good wage. Because I guarantee you, this guy is off his rocker. I think this guy is making a mountain out of a molehill and trying to, pick and pry. He's trying to fucking penny pinch is what this guy's trying to do. Maybe we should call... We'll end it on this. Let me try and call the Jimmy John's. I just want to see how much they pay. Maybe this is maybe we shouldn't.
I think we need to know for the viewers.
Well, that guy needs to know. What else did he say?
There could be other people that are wondering. Yeah, let's pull up his list of questions so that we can.
Okay, we'll ask him verbatim, specifically as he asked them, to get the answer we need.
Jimmy Johnson, Norm?
Hi, my name's Avery. I'm in the area. I was wondering if you guys are hiring. I'm really good at driving, is the thing, and I'm really in need of a job. Are you guys?
Yeah, we're hiring.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have someone.
Cool. No, that's really good to hear. Drivers, or who are you hiring exactly?
Hello. Sorry, you were put on hold. This is the manager speaking.
Hi. Yeah, my name's Avery. I'm looking at potentially getting a job at Jimmy John's. Just wondering. Apparently, you guys are hiring. Just want to see what positions are available.
I don't know exactly. I know for sure we're hiring drivers, but I've been told we're always hiring. So we have a shop or driver opportunities, and if you have manager experience as like a Jimmy John's, you might be able to do something like that.
Gotcha. Quick question. I have just wondering what if this would be a potential problem. What about if you've had a history of DUI?
I don't
Okay. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. It was years ago, and we got it all smoothed over in the courts. Like, everything's fine there. But I just want to have a reliable income for my family. We all live, in sort of this flat, and it seems like a good job. So I think what I'll do is I'll walk in with a resume and start driving immediately. I have a big water jug that I can fill with not alcoholic liquids, and we can kind of get started. So I'll probably drop off a resume in the next couple of weeks. Is that okay?
Yeah, we are currently going through a GM change. Our new GM is starting on Monday.
Okay.
So I'll leave your name, and I'll leave a name and phone number.
Gotcha. And just a general pay, is it like $14 an hour, $15 an hour if you're not driving drunk?
I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm new to this store, so I don't know exact numbers. You're
still figuring it out too. Okay, cool.
But I want to say it starts at $12 an hour for driving, but you can get raises pretty quickly by like doing certain things at the store. Like
wow.
If there's like a sandwich test you could take, you get like a $75 raise.
And is the sandwich test hard to pass?
No, you just gotta know the sandwiches, man. It's not that bad.
Okay. Well, I'll do some research. I appreciate your time. You have a great rest of your night, and I'll show up and I'll try and park correctly. So it was good talking to you.
David Thomas or Thomas David.
Cool. Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Sorry, who should I write down the name for? David Thomas?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll write down your name and number and let me know what's going on.
Cool. Thank you very much. You have a good one.
No problem.
Okay, so I think we're in the clear. I think if you're unemployed at this point, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Where did he get David Thomas?
I don't know. I don't know if you even... I think he's on pills.
Dude, he probably is one of their drivers that has the DUI.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now. If you can call a restaurant and tell them, like, by the way, I'll try and pull in correctly after saying you've had several DUIs, there is no reason that you shouldn't be employed any time in your life. And going back to the fucking mayonnaise thing, I mean... People are so picky about their shitty orders. Like, you worked in fast food, you know this. But anytime their order is in any way fucked in the slightest, there's not enough pepper. I used to work at Little Caesars in Payson, Utah, which is a town where people like hit children in the head with sledgehammers and walk around thinking that, Jesus is about to show up like in the next 5 minutes. And I ran a Little Caesars there. I was a manager of a Little Caesars there.
Yep.
And we know this man together, Big Dan, and we actually know 2 Big Dans. There was this motherfucker who would come into the store constantly, and order like a very specific order, and then come right back in 2 minutes later and be like, it's not right. It's not right. And every time he would walk, like the linoleum would crack. He was huge.
Did he eat it beforehand? I would have so many people.
Yeah, we had a couple bites.
It would be gone, and then they'd be like, "You messed it up. Like you didn't put this on it." And then we'd be like, "You fucking ate it. Like, what do we do?
What the fuck?" These people. Some people exist for this, and this guy, who Adam, by the way, would hang out with constantly. He would just, like, apparently him and some other friends that I know would go and hang out with this guy. And I only say he's a huge motherfucker because he was a dick. He was constantly ripping off my team. He would walk in and say that, I think you went light on the pepperoni, I'd like a refund. And he would get refunds. The head honcho would refund him. Eventually we had to kick him out. We had to kick him out of the fucking store. Meanwhile, Adam used to know this guy, and he worked at a Carl's Jr. This Big Dan guy actually worked at a restaurant himself. I can't believe it, because when you work in fast food, you realize like how douchey people are, and you try not to be a douche when you go into a fast food joint. And Adam loved this guy, and he was robbing us blind. He robbed us blind. In fact, I think there was one time he walked in with a gun.
Okay. Dude, by the way, he was like 40.
Yeah,
that
embarrassing.
But his career has been fast food, so he just knows all the tricks. He knows how to work the system.
I made good pizzas. I made good pizzas.
I mean, what else do you do though at that point? You're like 40 years old, dude, working at fast food. Like that's how you get some entertainment. You know how to work the system. You just kind of go in, get some free food.
That's true. But I mean, my God. I mean,
you get home, jerk off.
Yeah.
Watch the new fucking show on Netflix, reality TV.
Yeah. Put your dick in a bucket of spaghetti. Do it. But that's, by the way, you know what I just realized? Like, this whole episode has been about fast food. This whole fucking episode has been about fast food.
That's okay.
Could be worse. We've done 45 minutes on fast food. I'm going to be honest, folks. I don't know how much more I can go on fast food here, but I'll go for a bit longer.
All right.
There is one last thing we should probably touch on here, and I'd have to say this. I understand that politicians aren't always great at their job, right? We all know this. I would tell you right now, I'm not really left. I'm not neither right. You can call me a senator. Oh, God, he's a senator, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Okay? I don't care. I do want to point out one thing, and next week we'll make fun of a Republican, but on this one, we're going to make fun of the First Lady. Go to Latinos. I can't even say this title out loud. So pull that article up. And then I'll preface this before we play. The First Lady recently did a speech. It was really funny, where she mispronounced bodegas. What in the fuck are you doing?
I did not click anything.
He's clicking on butt plugs, my producer over here. Cool. Just pause on that, and then we'll be good. But the First Lady goes up on stage and basically fucks everything up. I don't know who wrote this, but in New York, there are restaurants called bodegas. They're corner shops. You go in there, you get pantyhose, you get fucking sprinklers or sparklers, you get a little deli sandwich, an egg sandwich, fucking whatever you want. She calls it a bodega, which is problematic for several reasons. And then just watch this, and then, I think you'll get the idea. So if you scroll up, it's that video, you go full screen on that, and then hit replay. And we'll get down to the bottom of this. Bring it back.
The diversity of this community, as distinct as the bodegas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength.
Okay. Basically goes on stage and says their culture is like breakfast tacos. Because San Antonio has a really large Latino population.
And that's what they're known for, man.
Yeah.
Those unique breakfast tacos.
Yeah. One thing I can say about the Latina is a breakfast taco. I mean, it's the most generic. I mean, like, here's the, you know what they do? They take a tortilla. I'm going like Italian, like Mario. They take a tortilla. I'm going Jill Biden. Jill Biden talks more like this. Jill Biden. So they take tortillas. And you know what they do? They pour out the tortilla, which is the only thing that they've contributed in this entire recipe. And they put the egg in there. You don't want to cook the egg for too long. You don't cook it too long, just like Boguet does. So you put the tortilla down, you put the eggs in there, and you mix in the eggs, you mix in a little cocaine, you mix in a little bit of, fucking whatever that drug lord's name was.
Chorizo.
You mix in that too, and you mix in Pablo Escobar, a little, like, some spice. You know what they like spice. And you serve it, and that's your culture. And that's basically what she's... So it's just a gaffe, and I'm not saying, like, I get it. Like, well, no, I don't, but she's... reading teleprompter. She's not a public speaker. She doesn't know how to present. And so when someone writes down bodegas, difficult to read. Particularly when you're the First Lady of the country. It's hard. I get it. Reading's difficult when you make all your money through, fucking lobbying and death. So, and this is actually kind of funny. So I've been every night. Like, it's summer here. It's nice. The nights are nice. I've been going to sleep. I've been listening. So I bought a book called Dark Money, thinking it would be like really interesting, like sort of like, you know, back money behind political campaigns. And it kind of is. But what I found out, and I'm going to sleep listening to this, just like slowly drifting off, is it's all, it's like a book about, you know, the Koch family from a right-wing perspective, which I don't vibe with all the time. And going to sleep to that is weird because it's like, well, when Obama was running, the Kochs started up a campaign against him, and it's a think tank, and they infiltrated the colleges, and I'm sitting there, you know, trying to go to sleep. And then the other night, and this is really awful, and, you know, don't judge me, judge the book, the person who made the book. I'm sitting there, falling asleep, almost asleep, and the woman, the audiobook narrator, who's a woman, is talking about this inner meeting of the Koch family, and I'm going to sleep, and I hear N-word, like hard R,
Whoa.
as I'm going to sleep, read by like someone who could be like your mother. Yeah, there it is, by Jane Meyer, Dark Money. The hidden history of the billionaires behind the rise of the radical right. Now, I did not read the title of the book. I read Dark Money and was like, good. I completely ignored the rest of that and was inundated with a quote of apparently one of the Koch people saying N-word. And I just kind of like jolted up. And I was like, did I hear that? What are they talking about? And I was like, I don't want to rewind it. I don't want to like dive further into this. But this book is they go into the, you know, the Shafes and some of these other guys and, you know, some of the weird shit. And some of it is weird, but it's definitely biased. But I will say this. Always read the subtitle of the book. Always read the subtitle of the book. Don't walk in blindly to any restaurant with the word bucket.
My question, how did you find this book?
I don't know. I found it in a restaurant called By the Bucket. There was a man behind the counter, and he said, you need to read this.
You gotta try this book out.
And Donald's still the president.
It's almost better than my spaghetti.
And that, my friends, has been the Dred Hour. Thank you again very much for listening. If you go to the Dred Hour side channel, you can subscribe there. You can download and rate us on any podcast platform you have. Again, we're everywhere. We're the biggest podcast in the world. We haven't quite hit the full hour. That's okay. You know, if we had ads, we would have hit the full hour. You can't blame me. I'm trying my best. It's my first time ever doing this. I don't even know what this is. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, God. If this is for you, then this is for you. Enjoy it at work.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Thank you again. Have a good night.